injury protection, and that will cover anything from an automobile accident to your passenger or yourself.
So Louis, the insurance company doesn't want to settle with your client. They don't believe you.
I wanted to follow up on one thing
Oh,
you
sure.
said about personal injury protection. When he says anything, I just want to make sure that it's not to pay for property damage, it's to pay for medical bills and for lost wages.
Exactly.
You can also purchase additional coverage called medical payments coverage, which would only pay for your medical bills and not for your lost wages. So you can,
And it's really inexpensive. I mean, the audience may not know that you could buy a significant amount more insurance to protect yourself and anyone who might be in your vehicle at extremely low cost, just a few dollars.
It's very cheap, and a lot of times people are encouraged to waive their PIP, like Charlie was talking about, to save just a few dollars a year, and it's really not worth it because it's not wise at all. And if you're going to do anything, you should increase it.
So I have PIP coverage, and I get $2,500 from PIP for my lost wages. And then I try and settle the case against Charlie's client. Do I have to pay back my PIP?
No, it's called collateral source in Maryland. So you can collect from your own insurance company, and the adverse carrier cannot raise that you've already collected from your own insurance company. So you do get that benefit because that's to pay for your medical bills, and conceivably everything you're getting from the adverse carrier is for your medical bills, your lost wages, and your pain and suffering.
And nor can that insurance company who's paid in the first instance your PIP coverage for meds and lost wages, nor can that insurance company take a bit of that settlement money coming from the other side. Now that's different, for example, in the state of West Virginia, which has a statute quite different than Maryland. And under that statute in West Virginia, the insurance company actually can get the money back from what we call the third-party tortfeasor, the one who caused all the problems. So that insurance company or that individual pays back the insurance company. It's much like health insurance. If I use my health insurance to cover my medical bills as a result of a motor vehicle accident, then the insurance company on the other side for that wrongful driver pays me settlement money, then I have a contractual obligation under my health insurance policy to actually reimburse the health insurance carrier. So you don't get to double dip. PIP is a little bit different in Maryland.
You can
really
double dip.
do double dip.
That's great. So Charlie's client's being cheap, doesn't want to pay you. What do you do?
File a lawsuit immediately. And I've gotten to the point lately where I've been filing lawsuits against some of the companies without even trying to settle first because every offer has been low. So we just immediately end up in litigation and let a judge or jury decide.
There's two different courts that you could go to, district court and circuit court. What's the difference?
Well, there's jurisdictional limits to each. So the district court has a limit of $30,000. It gets a little bit confusing. If you file up to $15,000, it'll stay in the district court and be heard by a judge. If you file from $15,001 up to $30,000, then the other side can ask for a jury trial. It's transferred to the circuit court. It's much more involved and a little more costly for the client if it ends up in circuit court.
So it's faster and cheaper to actually go to district court.
Absolutely.
How much faster are we talking?
Well, usually you get a trial within 2 to 3 months in district court. It's heard by a judge.
And how about in circuit court?
Circuit court, you're probably looking at close to a year before you actually get to a jury.
And during that year, if your client is off work because of this car accident, is Charlie's client paying them?
Absolutely not. They're not going to foot the bill for anything. They want the treatment to be over. They don't want to perpetuate any treatment or perpetuate the lost time from work. They want them back to work and out of the doctor. So they're not going to pay a dollar. They're going to do, like he said, one lump sum settlement at the end.
And Charlie, what happens at a trial?
Well, so trials, I'm sure Louis and yourself, a lot like me, it's really where if you have this trial attorney thing in your blood, it's a little strange. We tend to talk a lot.
Yes.
We like people to be quiet while we talk. We like people to sit while we stand. It's a little odd, but we enjoy it. And that really is the process where, you've heard the phrase, everybody wants their day in court, and that's really true. We have one of the best trial systems, really dispute resolution systems that's available. In the circuit court, you get the benefit of having a jury of your peers. Some time ago, there was a change to the law. It used to be that you needed a unanimous verdict of 12, but for civil actions, you need a unanimous verdict of 6. Now, you could have more, depending if the parties agree, but you only need 6 pursuant to the Constitution of the state of Maryland. So what happens is you present your case with the assistance of an attorney, and I highly recommend that you use the assistance of an attorney if you're going into the court system. There are procedural tactics and procedural rules that you have to follow even to get yourself into the court over that year span of time. There are a lot of things that happen. Deadlines, 10 days, 15 days, 30 days, that have to be met, or else you can be thrown out of court. Now, once you find yourself in court, you've got a judge, but the judge is not the decision maker. The judge is essentially a referee, is the person who tells the jury what the law is and makes certain that the attorneys on both sides of the counsel table are following the rules. And they're set out, and everybody needs to know them before they show up, and we do. And we try the case, meaning you bring in live witnesses. You bring in documentation of medical injury and medical bills. And there's a rule for each type of evidence as to how it gets into evidence.
So it's all done. You resolve the case. Let's say you actually settle the case. And as we wind down, tell me about what a release is. We have about a minute left. So what is a release, and does that mean that I'm not going to get anything more out of Charlie's client?
Well, depending on what the release says, yes, and it usually releases you from any further claim. So like Charlie was saying in the beginning, it's too early to decide to settle a case in the beginning because you don't know what your injuries are. I agree with him 100%. You could have serious injuries that manifest themselves later on that you don't know about. You settle early, you sign that release, and the insurance company holds it up. When you try to make a claim later on, you say your neck or your back or your shoulder hurts. They're not paying for it from that accident.
So it's a full release. You're done.
There's no admission of liability. Nobody says who's at fault. They both say we think the other one's at fault or nobody's at fault. We're not admitting to the level of damage that's been sustained by anyone. What we're doing is saying let's get done with this process. And you sign on the dotted line, and that's it.
And it's over. Okay, great.
Exactly.
All right. Well, there's so much more that we'd like to talk about and like to know about motor vehicle accidents, but we have run out of time in today's program. I would like to thank our guests, Charlie Chesney and Louis Silber, for being with us today. Let us know what you think of the show and the topics you find interesting that we should cover in future programs by emailing us at lawschoolforthepublic@gmail.com. You can find this show and past shows online. Just search for Law School for the Public Montgomery and follow the link. We look forward to you joining us for future shows in our Law School for the Public series. We air every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. on Channel 21. I am David Schoenfeld on behalf of the Bar Foundation of Montgomery County. Thank you for watching.